When Mac Miller's posthumous album Circles was released in 2020, fans were moved by the incredible production.
Draw circles.
In fact, the entire project sounds like Mac Miller could have been the one who finished it, but he didn't. On September 7, 2018, Malcolm McCormick, best known as Mac Miller, tragically passed away from an accidental drug overdose. He was just 26 years old. Posthumous hip-hop releases rarely sound as close to the artist as Circles does. The industry is known for stitching together unfinished songs with random features, or tracks deliberately shelved get released anyway. After Mac Miller's passing, his family refused to let his work suffer a similar fate. Instead, they committed to sharing his music with the same care Mac himself would have wanted. The family was not entering unknown territory, however. In fact, they were already part of Mac's creative world for a long time. His mother, Karen Myers, is a photographer. She captured images for his 2013 album cover, Watching Movies with the Sound Off. And then there is Mac's brother, Miller McCormick, the graphic designer behind iconic covers like Blue Slide Park and Faces.
While we were living together, he was making music, of course, all the time. And sometimes we just ended up collaborating, me doing design stuff. Yeah, that was great.
When Mac passed away, however, his family faced a far greater challenge. They had to decide what to do with his unreleased music. Rather than rushing to release his unfinished work, his family took their time to make the right decisions. In January 2020, they shared important news on Mac Miller's memorial Instagram. An unreleased album would soon be available. It was here the world discovered his 2018 album Swimming was supposed to have a companion piece. Malcolm was well into the process of recording his companion album to Swimming, entitled Circles. Two different styles complementing each other, completing a circle. Swimming in circles was the concept. It was important to Malcolm for the world to hear it. Mac Miller's family asked producer Jon Brion to finish the album. Brion had been working on Circles together with Mac and used the conversations they had about the direction of the album as a guide to finalize it. Even though finishing the album was important to Brion, it was, at the same time, a devastating process.
When I met with the family and they asked me to see it through, I remembered their faces. That was the constant reminder, frozen in my psyche. I had my sense of what Mac was. We had the conversations we did. I wanted them to hear their kid in the best light possible. But in this case, it was more painful. The thoughts about the things I wanted to tell him came to me more and more and more as I worked. Like, oh my God.
Despite the emotional burden, Brion finished what he and Mac had begun. Circles was released on January 17, 2020. Similar to Swimming, the lyrics explore Mac's internal struggles with self-doubt and depression. Throughout his life, Mac was vulnerable to negative emotions. In his later music especially, he confronted these feelings with raw honesty. A good example of this on Circles is the lead single Good News. Here, Mac wrote about his frustration with how others perceive him.
Good news, good news, good news, that's all they wanna hear.
The song reveals how Mac felt pressured by people to appear happy when he found himself in a dark place. A dark place he couldn't seem to climb out of. He truly felt like he was swimming in circles. At the same time, the record has moments of light shining through on songs like Surf.
There's water in the clouds, let's go.
The metaphor of nurturing something beautiful suggests Mac was reaching toward a better future, leaving fans to wonder what might have been. All songs on Circles feature a collage-like video clip. The family saw importance in releasing not just the audio of his songs, but also bringing his music to life visually. Little did the world know, the release of Circles was only the beginning. On September 15, 2021, the re-release of Mac's 2014 mixtape, Faces, was announced. This would be the first time fans would be able to listen to the mixtape on streaming platforms like Spotify. Faces was created by Mac in perhaps the darkest moment of his life. During this period, Mac's substance abuse was at its peak, enhancing his creative process, but worsening his mental health. For the re-release of Faces, the involvement of Mac Miller's family became ever more evident. To be more specific, it was the involvement of Mac's mother Karen and his brother Miller once more. As mentioned, it was important to them to release Mac's posthumous work with video. This is why one day, Miller called Karen to discuss which song from the mixtape should be chosen for a full-length music video. As they talked through options, they settled on Colors and Shapes, the favourite song of Faces for Karen. Miller began searching for a filmmaker to create the music video. The quest led him to Sam Mason, whose animated short film, Little Things, had a visual style that resonated with him. In a moment of inspiration, Miller muted the film's original audio and played Colors and Shapes instead.
Colors and shapes, the imaginary, instead of all of this weight that we have to carry.
In a later interview, Miller mentioned, "I just wanted to see how it looked, and it synced together so oddly well. It was eerie. It made things feel okay at a time when things really didn't feel okay." Miller, still in grief over his brother's death, found comfort in the powerful combination of music and film. From here, Miller was certain Sam Mason was the right filmmaker to produce the video for Colors and Shapes. When approached, Mason was thrilled by the opportunity and decided to create an animated world based on Mac's life. To build it out, I asked Malcolm's family to send me bits and pieces from his childhood, scenes from the town where he grew up, objects, toys from his room, little pieces of his life that I used to inspire the story. Among the personal details, Mason learned that Mac owned a dog named Ralph while he was creating Faces in 2014. Ralph became the main character, battling with imaginary creatures, a powerful metaphor for Mac's own struggles during that period. On top of the music video, 23 animations were made for the remaining songs of the mixtape, and finally, Mason perfected the cover Miller had created years ago. Unsurprisingly, many fans praised the effort put into Mac Miller's second posthumous release. A top comment under the music video for Colors and Shapes reads the following: "Whoever is in charge of releasing Mac's music to his fans, thank you from the bottom of my heart for treating his art how it should be treated and making it feel as if he was still here with us all. We have seen lots of people's art get treated miserably after their passing, but you guys are the best example of how to treat an artist's music with respect. Let's commend Mac's family, team, friends, and whoever else had a hand in not ruining Mac's legacy by putting out half-baked projects just for a quick cash grab. They're actually handling his work with care." After the re-release of Faces, many fans started wondering, is this the last posthumous release we'll ever see of Mac? Some fans remained optimistic, especially those who knew about the existence of an unreleased album. Allegedly, this project was called Balloonerism. Mac Miller had finished the album in 2014, around the same time as Faces. On November 21st, 2024, his family posted an announcement on his memorial Instagram. Many of Malcolm's fans are aware of Balloonerism, a full-length album that Malcolm created around the time of the release of Faces in 2014. It is a project that was of great importance to Malcolm, to the extent that he commissioned artwork for it, and discussions concerning when it should be released were had regularly. However, subsequent albums ended up taking precedence. Given that unofficial versions of the album have circulated online for years, and that releasing Balloonerism was something Malcolm frequently expressed as being important to him, we felt it most appropriate to present an official version of the project to the world. Where Circles was left unfinished, Balloonerism had already been finished for over a decade, but it never got to see the light of day. The album was officially released on January 17th, 2025. For the 14 songs released from the lost album, Mac Miller's brother again made sure the songs released got the attention he felt they deserved. Once more, Sam Mason was involved. This time, he took on an even more ambitious project. A 20-minute short film was created. The animated film tells the story of school friends who find a magical chord organ that transports them to a surreal dimension. There, they face the challenges of growing up. Songs from the Balloonerism album are arranged throughout the film to complement the visual narrative. This journey into adulthood is a theme woven throughout both the film and album.
Me, I used to want to be a wizard when the life gets so serious.
Fans continued to appreciate the hard work of the estate. Seeing this finally come out is so surreal. Thank you to Malcolm's friends and family for this album. In an industry too often eager to capitalize on posthumous releases, the approach of Mac Miller's family is refreshingly different. They've made decisions that honor Mac's creative vision, rather than trying to maximize profit. While this video has mainly focused on Mac Miller's family, it would only be fair to conclude it talking about Mac Miller himself, an artist who, in the 26 years of his life, created one of the most prolific catalogues in modern hip-hop. At a memorial gathering, Mac's father spoke about his son's relentless drive that pushed his career forward.
He was fearless, he was competitive, he was ambitious. He decided that that's what he was going to do when he was 15, period. I would take him out on the porch and say, Malcolm, you got to have a plan B. Of course, to do what he did, you cannot have a plan B. Whatever you love, you have to go after it with everything you have.
Going after his goals with everything he had is exactly what Mac Miller did. He poured his entire being into songs that continue to resonate with millions to this day. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel.